Welcome to our series on the wisdom of Ignatius. My name is Kevin Leidig. I'm one of the pastoral ministers here at the Retreat Center. The last couple of days we looked at the wounding of Ignatius and how he was so vain that he wanted his legs be rebroken in order to look well, to dance well, and so forth. It tells us something about his stubbornness, but also about his values at the time. That's why I spend so much time with that story, those moments in his autobiography. But today I'd like to talk about the process of his conversion, or the beginning of his conversion. He had a long period of recovery at his Lola castle, his home castle, and spent many hours of boredom, just lying still as his leg was recovering. And he was daydreaming about going back in a civil service, in the service of the king and queen, which is a good thing. That's what he's trained to do. He felt excited about doing that. He spent long hours daydreaming about going back to court. Then he noticed that afterwards he felt kind of empty. It wasn't really that exciting afterwards. He felt kind of an empty feeling. Then he asked for books to read, to take part of his time, use a part of his time. And the only books available to him were A Life of Christ and A Life of the Saints, either by design or the only books available at the castle. And so he started reading those. He'd read about the life of Francis and Dominic and other saints, and also the life of Christ. And he daydreamed about imitating them, their good deeds, and their life. And felt excited about doing what they did. And he put the book aside, and he notices that the excitement continued after he put those books aside. He notices that he's being attracted to go in that direction. Now, he really wanted to go in the other direction, the life of civil service. That's his inclination. But he felt like he's being drawn by the continued excitement and joy to go in another direction. So Ignatius notices that he's being influenced by forces beyond his control. Not that these forces controlled him, but they're forces beyond his control. And he called these forces spirits. The spirit that drew him closer to God, closer to faith, hope, and love. He called that the good spirit. And the spirit that kind of distracted him from faith, hope, and love, that led him in another direction, that ultimately left him in sadness. He called that the evil spirit. And that's one of the major lessons from his life that he leaves to us, to pay attention to forces in our lives that do not necessarily control us, but that they're beyond our control, and they try to influence the decisions that we make. And we'll go into more and more into these nature of these spirits as we go through the autobiography. Thank you very much.